Hi everyone. I have a few people who have joined, who just subscribed to this. You do not know how much it means to me that you're here. So thank you so much for joining. Thank you so much for stopping by. And welcome to my 1562nd attempt at learning how to talk to the camera. I found myself subconsciously defaulting to video styles that would not require that I actually sit in front of the camera and talk to the camera, and I'm challenging that, which is what I'm doing right now. I'm sitting in front of this camera and it's very uncomfortable. Oh my goodness, it is weird. See, since I said this, I have found a new appreciation for people who do this, like who do this talk to the camera thing. It's hard, guys, but we can do hard things. That's what I tell myself. I can do hard things. I like to challenge myself. I'm trying to challenge myself more and learn new things and grow. And that's kind of what I'm talking about today. So that's what I'm doing right now. And it means a whole lot to me that you're here, that there's an audience that is listening to this. So thank you so very much. And stay around, please, if you can, and if you have suggestions as well, totally welcome. I appreciate all of that. So today I want to talk about the things I'm doing personally to counter the predisposition to avoid failure. What do I mean? That's a lot of words. As humans, generally, it's normal for us to tend to want to not fail. It's normal. Nobody wants to fail, right? We all want to try things and succeed at them and move on and just keep climbing all of the various levels of whatever we want to do with our lives. So that's very normal, but I have found personally, and I think it is true, that the more you avoid failure, the less you grow. What does that mean? What do I mean? See, when we tend to just subconsciously do only the things that we are good at, there are so many other experiences that we will miss out on. And being a person that growing up, I didn't really experience failure a lot. I'm so grateful for that. I'm so thankful for that experience. But there is a little bit of a downside to that. One of the biggest ways that we measure accomplishments and growth as children while growing up is like academic performance, right? And our parents expect us to perform, and I performed, right? I didn't really have any serious hold-ups in my academics, or just moved on from different levels to different levels. And so I did not really experience what it meant to like sit down and have to do something over and over again. And some people experience that, and I believe that it's a way to grow. It's a way to just expand capacity and stretch and be stretched in different ways. But I didn't experience a lot of that. So as an adult, I've had to learn, and I'm still learning because we never stop learning. I've had to learn how to go beyond the things that I am good at and do other things. I mentioned the fact that without failure, we cannot grow. And I know that the Nigerian in me, maybe you, the person listening to me, is like, God forbid, I'm not going to fail in Jesus' name, that kind of thing. Yes, that's okay. We all, we all pursue success, and we trust in God to open doors for us and make things work out for us. But on another level, when there is an intrinsic or subconscious avoidance of I don't want to fail at something, or I don't want to not succeed at something, we tend to just avoid things that are difficult for us. We tend to we don't even realize that we're doing it, but we tend to subconsciously just do only the things that we know we're good at, and then we don't chase our dream. I am learning how to challenge that predisposition, because I want to grow. I want to keep improving on myself, and one way for self-improvement is to try new things. Yes, I may fail at something at first, but then I can try again. And also, who knows, I might just succeed at it at my first try, but I would never know if I am too afraid to try. When you're good at something, it's very easy to keep doing that thing. But what if there's something else that you can do? What if there's another area where you can have bigger success? Subconsciously, we might avoid those areas because our mind just feels it's hard, or you don't have the competence, or you don't know how to do that. So we don't do it. But why are we not doing it? Because we don't want to fail. because subconsciously we just don't want to fail. Nobody wants to fail. But I've found out that if I don't try something, I don't grow beyond where I currently am. So if the only thing I know how to do, for example, is teach, maybe there's a part of me that can also thrive in administration. But I'll never know if I'm too scared to try, if I'm too scared to take up a project. Maybe someone asks me to join them and do something, and I'm like, I've never done that in my life. I don't know. I don't think I can do that. That's a subconscious fear of failure, and that stops me from trying that. And who knows, if I go and try, I just might thrive, and I might find the second love, or I might find something that I also am good at, or something that I also enjoy. And what if I even failed the first time? That doesn't mean that if you fail the first time, that's the end of it. I'm sure many of us have experiences where, maybe even in school, where you do something the first time and then it doesn't work out. And then you try again. You might even have to try more than twice. But then eventually you get competence in the thing and you become a better version of yourself. And that's the whole point. But it's subconscious that we will avoid things that, that we're not good at. Personally, I still remember this thing that happened when I was in secondary school. I think it was my 4th year of secondary school, so I must have been maybe in SS1 or something like that. And I was talking to a classmate. I don't know what happened, and I was talking to a classmate, and I was like, one of the things I hate the most in my life is disappointment. Now when I think back, it's so funny that at that age, I was a teenager. Yes, I wasn't like a child, but at that age, I already felt a very strong aversion towards disappointment. I didn't like to not, hit my target. And now as an adult, I know that it's something that I need to challenge, right? Because subconsciously, I'm just defaulting only to the things that I am good at. And I don't think that's how I want to live my life. I want to experience all different kinds of things. I want to grow. I want to meet different kinds of people. I want to do different kinds of things. And I will not do that if my mind keeps, blocking me from trying new things. So my challenge to myself it's been a while now, over a few years now, where I've just started pushing myself to do things. And another example of where I'm pushing myself to do things is this YouTube channel, this thing. I've mentioned I've mentioned it before on this channel. I mentioned it on my friend Victoria's channel, that I am very averse to the camera. I just don't know how to sit in front of a camera and talk to a camera. I don't like, having cameras in my face and all of that. And as I began to experience more things and do more things, I realized that there will be areas where I need to do stuff like this. There will be things, it's a digital world right now, and it's not ever going to go back, right? It's never going to go back to less digital. It's never going to go back to analog. Things are just going to keep, becoming more and more digital. And I cannot just keep hiding behind this. I don't like to do this. I needed to challenge that, and that was why this whole project came to life. But doing all these videos, and I found that I've been enjoying them. It's hard though. It's difficult, which is why I'm leaning more into it, because if something is difficult, then that means there's still something there that I need to, troubleshoot and check and understand why is this hard for me. Why is this something that we are not going to always enjoy everything, but this is a skill that I think it's important for me to just have. I don't have to be the best at it, but I should be able to do it. So that's just one example of leaning into the hard things, leaning into the things that our mind subconsciously, or that my mind in this case subconsciously rejects. I watched some of those videos back, and I cringe, and it's why? Because I'm I don't like it. But I now know that that's just my tendency to not want to fail, and that's very normal. That's very human, and I'm learning to embrace it, right? That even when I do not feel like I like it, I still put it out there, because like I said, now I'm learning how to fail, and not only fail privately, but also put myself out there, because that's another level of it. Some of us, at least I can speak for myself, we can try things when we don't have an audience. We can try. We are good with trying things, and maybe it might not work when nobody can see what we're doing, and so we're hiding behind that privacy, hiding behind that seclusion, and there's some things that you cannot learn that way. There are some challenges that you cannot overcome in that way, right? And so just being okay with, I'm not going to be good at everything, and I'm not going to get everything at the first try. That has been honestly so freeing, so liberating for me. And I just feel like it's really something important to talk about. There might be someone out there that is just, struggling with not trying new things because subconsciously we are afraid to fail. And the funny thing is that you might not even know that that's how you're sabotaging yourself, because you just know that I don't like it, and then you don't do stuff, or I don't think that's for me, and that's for other people, and then you don't do it. Or there's something that you should apply for, maybe some school that you should apply for, some job that you should apply for, and then your mind just tells you like that's not for me, and you don't realize that what you're doing is that you're actually afraid to fail, so you don't even try. See, that's the message, that if we don't challenge this tendency to be afraid to fail, we will not try new things. And if we don't try new things, we cannot grow. If I'm not trying new things, I cannot be more than where I am right now. Until I step outside of the box that I have built for myself and try something else outside of that, I'm just going to be stuck in that same place. I'm challenging you today, as I've been challenging myself recently, that just try things. And I'm here to tell you, a lot of times there are very interesting and amazing things on the other side of trying, right? For example, I've always talked about this. This is always, my friends know this, that I didn't learn how to ride a bicycle when I was a child, right? And I think there are lots of people that didn't learn, but I just used to feel so bad, right? That how can I not? Like, it's so easy, right? Kids do these things all the time, and I could not learn how to ride a bicycle. So as I began to embrace more and more like this idea of it's okay to fail, and it's okay to fail publicly, it's okay to fail in front of people, right? I started learning, because that's another thing. I remember learning, but I don't even know how to explain this. I've always, if I'm going to learn something, I always learn it by myself, right? I've come to challenge that as well, and realize that it's also another type of fear of failure, right? You want to, if I'm going to fail, if I'm going to fall, let it just be me. I don't want to be embarrassed. I don't want to do this in front of other people, that kind of thing. And so you're trying by yourself, and there are just some things that you cannot learn by yourself. So before I learned how to ride the bicycle, the first thing was a scooter. So I see people riding this all the time as well, and I couldn't. The first time I saw one, I tried, and I was just like, why is it so difficult? It was so difficult. I couldn't get myself to stay on it. I wish I had pictures and videos, but then I didn't have videos because I was doing it by myself. So I would go to like a secluded place, and I would try. I could not get. Now that I think about it, it's so funny. Here's a video of me riding a scooter. I eventually learned how to ride a scooter because someone taught me. And that's another thing, right? You need good teachers, people who are committed to you, people who know how to teach, and people who believe in you. So I learned how to ride a scooter because someone believed in me and just kept telling me, you can do this. Don't worry, you can do it. You can do it. And it makes me so happy that I learned how to do it, right? Eventually, I got it. And I think that was the first step for me in learning how to ride the bicycle. So after I learned how to ride the scooter, I started practicing, and that's me. I'm very stubborn with execution, right? Very stubborn with execution. Now I don't fall off anymore and all of that. I am so glad that I embraced. That's just one funny example, right? I'm so glad that I embraced, learning something and learning and just being okay with failing, like publicly. And once I learned that kind of helped my my confidence, and then I learned how to ride the bicycle. You don't know how happy it makes me that I can ride a bicycle now. And it's just something very small, right? But it's major for me because it's more than those things. It's more than like a bicycle and a scooter or whatever. It just feels to me like physical evidence of self-improvement, of me committing to something and committing to myself and actually just getting through it and doing it and staying through to it and going from like novice to amateur to beginner, and then now I'm beyond beginner. That brings so much satisfaction, and it's just a tangible way for me to prove to myself that I can do hard things, and it's okay to fail. It's okay to not be good at something. You just have to keep trying. But when I think back to this and I have to do other things, maybe other things that are not as physical, it helps me remember that I'm not always going to be good at everything, but the only way you actually fail is if you give up, if you stop trying. All right? Of course, there might be things that you might have to set aside if you try something and it's obvious that this is not for me, or this is not what God is calling me to do at this time. Now talking about deep things, right? Deeper things, right? This is not what God is calling me to do at this time. It's good to set those things aside, but then it's not because of fear. It's not for lack of trying. It's because you've tried it and you now know without any shadow of doubt that that's not for you. That's a good way to approach things, right? So much better than not trying at all because your mind is afraid to fail. Generally, I just continue to push myself, and I think that that's one of the important parts of self-development and self-actualization and self-evolution as humans. But it's very, very easy to forget to do that. To just expand your world, expand your mind, expand your experiences, and it takes effort, it takes intentionality. And so this video is a reminder to myself and a reminder to anyone out there watching. If you just think about yourself, just to be a little bit introspective and think, when was the last time I tried something new? When was the last time I tried something intimidating, something that felt like that's not for me, something that felt like I can't do that? Right? I passionately believe that the best way to grow is to try things, is to try things that seem difficult, things that seem outside, out there, things that seem like I don't know how to do that, I can't do that. It's so important to try those things because you never know what you find on the other side. And that's really how I approach things. And honestly, just as I began to grow more and more in pushing myself to try things, even if I would fail at them, I have seen really good improvement to my life. And of course, with God by your side, that's a constant. If you don't have God, I don't know how you're doing life. I really don't. So with God on my side, I found that my world has expanded, right? I remember the first time I spoke at a conference, Oh my goodness, it was terrible. I mean, not terrible, terrible, but it was not my best work. And why should it even be my best work? It was my first time, right? And I had to learn that. I had to learn that you're not going to be exceptional at everything the first time, right? And you're not ever going to get exception. You're not ever going to become exceptional if you don't keep trying. If you don't even start trying, right? For the first time, I was nervous. I was shaking. My voice was all over, and it wasn't the best of presentations, right? But it was still good. I got through it. But what that did for me was that I found the confidence to do the next speaking engagement, and then the next one, and now I feel almost like a pro. If I have to do a speaking thing at any place now, I don't feel so shaky anymore, because I have grown through my decision to challenge my fear of failure. Because it wasn't just about capacity. I know I could do it, but it's just like you don't want to go out there and just mess up, right? That's a fear of failure, and it's subconscious a lot of times. But I did it that first time, and then it became easier and easier and easier. And the last one I did, oh my goodness, I mean, not to blow my own horn, but it was amazing, right? It was amazing. It was the one I did just before I got my new job, and that was even almost directly related to the job, because it's just the same field. It was something that showed competence. That's a story for another day. But my point is, I got increasingly better at speaking in public and speaking to like smart people, you know, the most intimidating people. Like, you can just see everybody's faces and you're like, they're judging. Like, did they even think this makes any sense and stuff like that? But I did it. I got through it, and I grew from that experience, and I got more confidence. And then my work just opened up, and that's just one area. So, challenging myself, challenging anyone listening to this, try something new. Just think about something and just try something new this week. This is almost a new month. I don't know when this is going to go out, but just try something new. And you might just find something new that you enjoy, or something that you didn't even know that you could be good at. Or even if you're not good at it, you can get better at it. I got better at it. And I'm still committed to trying new things and just experiencing things and just expanding my world. And it's the best thing ever. It's the best feeling ever to come from that place of discomfort and feeling so shaky to that place of, wow, I can do this. And for that feeling, I will try new things over and over and over again, like I'm doing right now. It's been so good doing this, even though I had to stop and start like a million times, but I got through it. Look at that. Amazing. Thank you so much for stopping by, for listening to this. It means a whole lot. I appreciate you. I do not take your time for granted. Thank you for listening to this or watching this, and I intend to do more of this, because I am challenging myself to do things that are uncomfortable, things that that do not come to me naturally. So thank you so much for listening. I'll see you in the next one. Yes, there'll be a next one. We're doing this now. Bye.